Leeds fans, welcome to Wrestle 1919. Today, I wasn't going to actually do a video, but I decided to do a video today because there's something on my mind, and I wanna say I sort of believe that we should embrace a 3-5-2 formation. I probably won't do it because it's Daniel Farga, but listen, bear with me. See what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want to comment, give me your thoughts. Whether you think I'm talking bullshit or not, let me know. But after 7 games this season with 8 points, 2 wins, 2 losses. 2 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses, which is a decent return in the Premier League, to be fair, after 7 games. We'll go into an international break now. Few players out with Dan James, obviously out injured for 4 to 6 weeks, probably on the 6 weeks plus side. And then we're going to have to discuss Brendan Aronson. So, yeah, I want to do an analysis about how we can maybe move into a 3-5-2, maybe more suited to us right now. And, just see what your thoughts are. So first thing I want to discuss is one of the things that sort of stands out to me is after 7 games, we've conceded 11 goals. Just having a look here. Going by the stats that I'm looking at, we've scored 7 goals, averaging 1 per game, and an XG of 7.72, which is 13th in the league, which is all right, I suppose, where we're at. We're 15th. So we're averaging a goal a game, which is good. We're making chances now. I was really worried in the first few games, but we are making chances now, which is a benefit, which is definitely a net positive for us. Against Bournemouth, we've scored 2 goals, but we had 19 shots. They had faced 19 shots the entire season until they faced us, and they faced 19 shots in that game. My concern is we're not putting them away. I think we'll have to do something about that. Our productivity seems to be okay, but our actual cutting edge, we're lacking. And I think there's a reason for that. I think if you're a lone striker, you're doing a lot of work trying to get into those positions. I think you need a bit of help. You either play a 10 or you play 9.5. You basically play somebody off a striker. Defensively, we've conceded 11 goals. Our XG is 8.22. That's a bit of a concern. We're 14th in the league, and we're 15th. That works out at 14th in the league, but we're 15th at the minute. That's fine, I suppose, for our position, but the fact we know the outlier in all our results, and that's the Arsenal game. But it is a concern. We've let in a goal against Fulham, which is a freak goal. We've let in a late goal against Bournemouth, which wasn't great. The Spurs winner, the 2 Spurs goals weren't great. I'm not going to go into the whole issue there because everybody knows, if you watch my video, I've been a bit harsh on Pascal. I've just noticed just as well, we've had a total of 85 shots. I don't know if that's right, actually. What couldn't be, and 24 on target in 7 games. That can't be right. But I'll have to look at that and see if that is correct. But look, Farka, we all know Farka's play is 4-2-3-1. He likes to control and have a bit of control of the possession, and when we played last season, it was easier because we're playing lesser teams. What I liked about Farka this season is he was very capable. Well, he was able to move to a 4-3-3, which I'm more than happy with because it gave us more control in that central midfield. It's going to be a wee bit slower at times. We're going to be hard to break down. The attack side, we've talked about it from now to the cows come home, about the attack side of things. We need somebody in the midfield that's capable of moving forward. And I think if you've Sean Longstaff, Ampadu, and Tanak, well, if you put Tanak in there, or Stack, or remove Stack or put Stack in and remove Amps, put Tanak in, I think 3 of those 4 are more than capable in the Premier League. I think Tanaka is the most able going forward out of the lot of them. But if he goes forward, I don't think he's able in the defensive third of the field compared to the three that's there currently. We've seen that Bijol has went back to his country and isn't happy about the time that he's had on the pitch, which is 0. We see that Tanaka is the same. He's not happy. He's not in Japan. And this is why, it's part of the reason why I think we should move into a 3-5-2 formation. For example, like I think a 3-5-2 gives us more natural balance defensively and in the midfield, whilst also giving us a second attacker that can play behind the 9, not in a 10, but can drop into the midfield and help out if needed, but be beside the striker when we're attacking. I think it's definitely something with the current team that we have and squad that we have, I think we'll have to be looking at. I'll give you an example here, just as I'm looking at this. So whenever Conte was at Chelsea, he won the league, I know it's a while ago, and then you had Inter Milan in the 21-22 season, 2020 and 21 season, both played 3-5-2s, and they were successful. If we played 3-5-2, our sprint distance goes up 12% on average, going by Opta. If you had players like Rodon, Strike, and Bijol, they would be standouts because less shot creation would be against us as well. Bogle and Bunsen as wing backs, and then you have DCL up front, possibly with Nemacha or Perot as a strike partner. We have an extra striker on the pitch, or you play Tanaka off him, or if Dan James is back, you could put Dan in there, which is not ideal, but we don't have anybody else, I suppose. I just think that 3-5-2 gives us the best possibility to get the best out of the current squad we have at Leeds at the minute. Like, we have so much potential with the players that we have right now, but we can't afford any more injuries. Like, for example, here, Opta data from the past 5 seasons shows 3-5-2 teams concede 15% fewer goals than 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 sides, whilst boosting XG to over 1.8 per game. And at the minute, we're averaging just over 1 per game, in and around. So I think personally it's a natural fit for our squad. As I say, you 3 at the back, 3 in the midfield. I think you have Bogle and Goodmanson out wide. So you have Perry and Nats, and then up front DCL and Nemacha or Perot. I think it's a no-brainer to me. Like, if you're thinking about Goodmanson and Bogle, the two of them are having brilliant seasons as things stand. I think it frees them up completely. Completely frees them up. You have an extra defender in there. You have 3 men in midfield, and them 2 men become attackers. Just attack from the wings. We're afraid to pass the ball out to Brendan at the minute because we know he loses the ball constantly out there. So we're not passing the ball. I'll give you an example. Like, Brendan the other day said something like, the amount of he was on the ground more times than he was on his feet. Like, for example, whenever we played Arsenal, obviously, moving on back from Brendan, Arsenal put in, what was it? Arsenal put in a number of crosses because we were playing high fullbacks. 62% of their crosses against us were completed. That means they were successful 62% of the time. That has to stop. Can we improve? I think we can improve, yeah. A lot of our, 70% of our own attacks come from the wings. That's 7 times out of 10 our attacks are coming from the wings. 5 times out of that 7, they're going down the left. That means our right wing is massively underworked for creativity because of who's playing there. So it's a stat that people won't want to hear, but it is what it is. And moving into midfield, I'm just looking here at the pass accuracy under pressure in the midfield. Now, Gruev doesn't really count because he ultimately only got one game, I think, so far. But he's at 65% of duels won, 1.5 tackles per game. It's alright. Ampadu's at 68% pass accuracy. That's lower than the team average. It's not good enough for a midfielder. I think Ampadu's done alright, to be fair, but when I saw that, I couldn't believe it. The other thing, like Sean Longstaff, he got that screamer against Bournemouth, but then his actual passing forward, it's not where it should be. He's good at passing side to side, but because we have nobody breaking forward down the wings when we are pinned back, our two wingers are. Well, to be fair, against Bournemouth, what they were doing, and against Tottenham, what they were actually doing is they were letting Brendan do whatever the hell he wanted because they didn't care. They just left him alone. They doubled up on the other side. So Okafor's under pressure constantly, or whoever's playing the ball down the wing to Okafor in the DCL, because they know Leeds aren't going to pass it out to Brendan because we know that Brendan's going to lose it. Like, Brendan brings a lot of energy. He runs all day, but at what point in life did that become a footballing commodity? Okay, you can run. Good lad. You're a professional footballer. Go and run cross country. Like, for example, he covers 12k a game. Creativity, 1.2 key passes per game. However, he has a 42% dual win rate, 0 goals, 0 assists, and he's got a below par average rating of 6.8 per game throughout the season. So it's not just me. His stats don't lie. I'm not saying that we have to go and sell them on right now. We can't afford to sell them right now, but we have to do something, and I think we need to change it up. I think Brendan, unfortunately, is going to be the key target for changing it up right now. I'm going to give you an example here. Like, an example is like the 3-5-2 here. When Aronson doesn't start or he hasn't been on the pitch, I'll give you an example. It's like you have Longstaff, Ampadu. We ended up 7 chances against Bournemouth when Aronson wasn't on the pitch. Gruev wins 65% of his duels. Now, they're central midfielders. And people will say, well, you can't compare the two. Well, you can, because the central midfielder covers the full backs. He covers the wingers coming forward. He also covers the central midfielders. If you're a winger, you're only covering a full back. 9 times out of 10 it's a full back. And Brendan pirouettes usually away from a full back and into trouble. Instead of taking a 1-touch, 2-touch, he's taking 10 touches. It's beyond, it's getting beyond a joke. I don't know what he has over Farker, to be frank with you. And for me personally, it's just time to move forward. I think with the players that we have on the bench, with the players that we have in the squad, and to get players on the pitch, the best players, you don't pay €20 million for Bijol and let him lie on the bench. The man's an international footballer. I think Pascal's questionable. But I think if you put Bijol into the centre of the two centre backs, Rodon to the right, Strike in the left, I think that makes our defence rock solid. Completely rock solid. And then you've got the 3 central midfielders. Now, people will go at that point and go, oh, well, that's very defensive there. This is where you push them full-backs up, use them as wingers, get them right up the pitch. You can play DCL up there, put Okafor in behind him. It's a hell of a lot better. You've got 4 attacking players in the pitch rather than 3. I think that's a damn sight better, and you break from midfield. I think it's a damn sight better than what we have at the minute. I'm not saying, I'm not a football manager. I'm not in the Premier League. This is just my opinion. The fact of the matter is, there are stats there, and I think we all have to look at it. And whether we agree or disagree, the stats are there. I'm going to say as well, like at the end of the day, I understand we all know that we've had a decent season. We've 8 points so far. I had a talk at the beginning of the season, there's no doubt about it. But I don't want to rue missed chances like the Fulham game. I don't want to rue missed chances like the Bournemouth game or even the Tottenham game for that matter. But for us not to rue those chances, I think we have to act, and we don't have a transfer window right now to do anything about anything. And we've got an injury to one of our better attacking players. So, in my opinion, you've got to look at the actual formation. I'm saying, Daniel, I like the formation that we have, but it's not getting the best out of the squad up front. And DCL's running a lot, and we need that man called Mull. So he needs help up there. So I think Okafor would be the ideal candidate. He's 6'1", built like a brick shithouse. He's got a great left foot, and I think the two of them work together perfectly. Um, or Okafor doesn't start there. You could always put Nemacha or Perot on it. Hopefully not Perot, but Nemacha as well. But in the main, I am definitely positive this season. I think we've got attacking flair when we've got our full strength team out. With I would start with Dan and Okafor, and I like the 4-3-3 when we're full strength, but not with Brendan. We can't play it, and we don't have a right winger, so we'll have to change it up. And I think three at the back will change it up. The fact that Strike and Rodon know each other inside out, Bijol coming into the middle of those two should be an easy transition. I think as well with Perry in nets coming back from an injury, I was very against removing Darlow until the last game, where I'm just thinking I don't like. I was defending him against the draft excluder goal, and then I was started to defend him in the last game because of the deflected goal, and I don't want to be defending my goalkeeper. I want to be praising him, and I think Perry gets to both those goals. So being realistic, I want Perry and nets. So Perry and nets, Bijou in the centre with Strike and Rodon. Touchwood, they come through the international break. I would like Goodmanson on the left, Bogle on the right, the three men in the centre. That is your 3-5, and then the two I would put DCL and Okafor. Okafor playing in behind DCL, and let's go. Just go and attack. Diagonal balls, long balls, whatever you do, whatever. DCL's what, 6'2", 6'3". Okafor's what, 6'1". Attack them. I definitely think we're positive this season. I think we've done well this season. I'm supporting the manager up to this point. But time's going to tell now with Dan out just how strong and how tactically astute a Farke can be or is. So, look, it is what it is. I'm not going to dive too much. I wasn't even going to do a video today, but I decided to do it because I was just thinking about it, and I thought, I've spoke to a few people about it as well, and so they all agree, like, we'll have to change it. They all agree that Aronson can't be in the team. So if we're all agreeing on that, then surely the manager sees it. But anyway, listen, like, comment, and subscribe. Stick something in the comments if you're watching. Thanks for everybody that's subscribed to me. It's very, very appreciated. Please whack a like on it. It helps with the algorithm. It gets me out there a wee bit more. But listen, thanks very much. Marching on together and all that jazz, Good luck.